Hello people, this is Ryder here with a review of the Army Hero Lava / Army Hero Atlas Super Atlas Summoner. Summoning Belt. Anyways, this is the 2023 re-release of this belt. I think this was to correspond with the 10th anniversary of the show, as this one is different from its original 2014 release. And obviously, as I said before, I don't think this summoning belt got released during the original line, but I think it got released during to correspond with the movie that was associated with. But anyways, here we have the front of the box right here. We have Army Hero Atlas. We have the Atlas summoning belt. We have the name. They have a typo for armor, because now it's Almer. More. Oldie. This is basically in the same style as like the Super Shura summoner, or the like Super Aries summoner and such. This is kind of the style of their releases. We have the top right here, which has the logo for the Armor Hero Atlas movie, and we got a nifty handle. The original toy had that too. The bottom. Yeah, oh, this is trademark 2025. Yeah, so I don't know what year this one exactly was commercialized, but we have the 4 marks for each element. We have Armor Hero Atlas. This is an actual suit image, unlike what they did with the Aries Summoner. And we have the back right here, which is pretty neat. Unfortunately, I knew this, I forgot about it, but I knew this since I got it. Yeah, mine unfortunately came with a giant hole in the back, so that's unfortunate, but this essentially, again, is another showcase of the belt itself, so why not we take a look at it in full. So here we have the contents of the set. We have the Atlas Summoner itself, the 4 energy keys, and then the belt straps. They literally came like this. So this will be the last time I'll be covering these straps, because obviously this is the last summoning belt. So as you can see from here, from them being folded like this, they are pliable, rubbery plastic that are clinky and such. They're designed pretty well for what they were able to do. These are kind of like how Ryder belts are formatted. You just push them in through like so. You fold, you slide the stopper down like so. Then you take these, you clip them into the side like so. And then, voila, you have the Atlas Summoner fully equipped and such. I think that's good enough showcase. But yeah, you can see this is just how these ones came to be. So I mean, that's kind of the defining thing with this one. It's like I at least know what these ones, like I at least know these are the Atlas Summoner ones. But yeah, let's take a look at the Atlas Summoner itself. So I have to specify, this is of the 2020 re-release. So this 2022 re-release is of the 2020 re-release. And what the 2020 re-release did is that they actually changed out how this main section was done. because previously this was transparent yellow plastic, but now it's in this sharp gold plastic and such. I don't think it's still not necessarily one-to-one with the show prop, but it's at least like more sleeker and I guess less toyetic. Though I feel like that can be not disproven, but like in the sense, it's kind of like the lava summoner, but like this is hard plastic and such. And the thing too is, you can see back here, I kind of want to say it is still transparent yellow because of the back pieces being like this shimmery. So like I want to say maybe this is still transparent plastic, but just now painted, which again I think looks pretty good. But as you can see here, there's the Atlas Summoner without those fins. And like I'll admit, like I think it is definitely interesting to have a base color that is not this gunmetal. This is a lighter base color. And then, just holds down like so. Honestly, it reminds me so much of the Zekmiser. I think that's what it reminds me in this mode. It just looks like a really bulky Zekmiser. But you simply just peg these, and like so, make sure you hear a click so then you actually know what's in, unless you've taken you've taken it off like me too much to the point it doesn't do that anymore. I hope this one actually clicks. Yeah, like a click like that, just so then you know it's actually gonna like stay in, even though again this one's not clicking in, unfortunately. But yeah, I think the Atlas Summoner in standby mode is not too bad. I feel like this gray kind of stands out a lot, but I think it's just more so because it's supposed to blend in with the suit. But once you fold it down like so, I think definitely like these fins help bring out more color to it. Because if you didn't already know, Atlas's ability is thunder. So this is supposed to be... Oh, I don't know if this is exactly supposed to be thunder. Nothing about this really invokes thunder to me. Go say Green 1290 pointed out in the live stream that it looked more like a butterfly motif. To which, this is a spoiler for the show, he does gain wings, so that is not necessarily wrong. But yeah, taking a look at the energy keys, we have gold variant of the prior S1 keys for each element. So obviously here we have the lava key S1, I'll just say Atlas variant. So I'm not really going to brief over them too much, just because the stickers are the exact same. These pieces are the exact same, it's just now they're cast in gold plastic, which technically is not accurate, but I get it. They want to make these different from the initial releases. So here's the Tsunami Key S1 variant, or Atlas variant. I think the transparent like plastic is neat, but unfortunately my Tsunami Keys sticker is just not good. It doesn't help too that it's clearly misaligned, so it's going to cause that to happen more. But here we have the Tornado Key S1. Unfortunately, my Tornado Key gets stuck. So that is super unfortunate for someone that potentially is, this might be their only way of getting a tornado key. But the only key we'll take a extensive look at is our Cliff Key S1 Atlas variant. So yeah, we finally have a Cliff Key. As we can see here, here's the sticker. It's really neat overall. And then here's the emblem. Again, I really do like the shade of purple. I like the symbol for Cliff. And then again, Cliff Key S1. Other than that, this one is kind of the only one. This is the only like really solid key out of this and such. Because obviously with these three, I will do comparisons with their summoning key releases. So here is actually with Lava we get to have a special occasion. So Lava, here's all 4 variants of his key together. So obviously this is the summoning key set, this is the Super Lava Belt, this is the RX Lava Belt. So yeah, we have 4 lava keys now. Because I mean prior, so obviously for the original toy line, it only had 3 variants. It had the version that came with toys, the summoning key versions, and then the Atlas versions. But the Atlas versions, not all the keys got an Atlas version. Now for the Tsunami key, like there's not really too much to compare. It's just, hey, this is under a different plastic. And then again, because I was fortunate enough, even though if it costed a lot, to have this one. Here is the Tornado key. Sorry for the lighting. And obviously, I will say this, don't be tricked about the fact that this, if you get a tornado key like this, you do not get tricked in, like, thought of, like, oh no, I accidentally got a custom painted tornado key. No, that's just the chrome underneath it and such. And again, Cliff doesn't get to have a comparison because his set for this is just super dumbly hard. It's basically non-existent. I think that's why a lot of people think it never got released, but I am assuming it did, just was printed very lowly. So I want to apologize for how bad the lighting's going to be for this, but anyways, this, just like all the other summoning belts, takes up 3 AAA batteries, but I think this one's actually kind of reasonable. And I do think it's kind of smart how they did the on and off switch. It's just up here, like so. Now this is going to be the first time where I'm going to say, if your eyes are sensitive to, if you have light sensibility, maybe this is not a good review to watch. Because this thing's flickers, like the flicker on this thing is really intense. But by itself, as you can see, it's just rotating around. It has an orange LED. If we open it, yeah. So like looking at it through the camera, luckily it reduces the intensity. But like in person, it's kind of a lot. But as you can see here with the 4 elements, right there, and then the speaker is directly at the center here. So yeah, by itself it just does that. To which now we need to take our energy keys, which I shouldn't have done that because of the integrity of the stickers. So this is kind of, This is kind of annoying. There's technically two ways of inserting the keys, or there's two formations we can do. I'm going to do what is essentially the suit design, or what's on the suit, and then I'll do what they do in the show / movie. But obviously, we want to insert the keys into the 4 slots up there. So we'll do them one by one. And it will emit the color of each key. So then, Tsunami goes into this slot. Tsunami power! There's a delay for it to read the key. Tornado. And you can't see it, but the keys are emitting one by one. Last but not least, we got Cliff, which is more of a pink, but I can't blame them. But again, as you can see from here, the keys are emitting one by one, which is pretty neat. And then in this, you can't twist the keys yet, because we have to transform, to which then, if we were to fold this down, it will start the transformation process. So there we have the transformation of... Why was I going to say Ultraman? Armor Hero Atlas, which is pretty nice and simple and such. It would have been cool if the standby would have been more prominent after like inserting the keys, but I get it. It's just they kind of had to work with what they had because of the fact that in the show and in the movie he never has these sounds, which is why the transformation sound here might sound a bit familiar, even though I think it is more fitting towards Atlas than Tornado. But as you can see here, it emits the color of the key where each key is and such, which is why it's kind of more accurate to have Tornado and Tsunami here. But by itself, at this point now we can turn the keys. So if we do them one by one, so it will announce the pre-transformation phrase for each element. This one doesn't automatically turn or twist. And yeah, obviously I think it's pretty smart to have a toy that actually has the pre-transformation phrases, because obviously these keys don't do transformation stuff in here anymore, because that's what having all 4 of these keys do. And then if we were to put it back in, as you can see from that, it reads it from left to right. But if we were to technically transform the way that Donma would transform in the show, as you can see from here, the light coordination doesn't change. So technically, it still wants you to do it this way, even though we've seen it like this. It's confusing. And as you can tell from here, when it's in this mode, it doesn't really read the keys. So you can just kind of do whatever. Yeah, so it technically does read it, but like it doesn't really matter which formation it's in. Yeah. So it doesn't really care which placement it's at because it's going to do the same thing. But because of that, this toy can't actually read the other keys and such. So, for example, we can have fun, and utilize our other other lava keys. So, let's insert them one by one. Oops. And the RX one. For the rest of these, it's just going to say Atlas Power because they're all generic. And then if we were to twist them, obviously it's all the same sound, so it's not going to do anything significant. But if we were to utilize a full set, so we'll use the other two keys. Actually, we'll put it here. Some of the keys will struggle getting inserted. But as you can tell from here, these said Chewin Power. Even though it might sound like Kieran, but it's not, it's Chewin. But as you can tell here, the colors are still the same here. But if we were to utilize the other three keys, they actually are carried over from their respective belts. So I won't do all the sounds, but we'll have a preview. Oops. So we will utilize these two keys. So we'll just put them on the other end. So, yeah. Oh, jeez. But yeah, it's really cool that this thing can actually utilize the other keys from both belts. And not like how it'll typically be, where it can only read a specific key from a set and such. So, that is pretty fun. So let's be quick about this and utilize the other keys within the other two summoners. So we can utilize these two. Wow. And then dual mode. Wow. There, we have that. Obviously, you can't use the keys on each other and such, therefore they're specific belts. But, yeah, I think that is basically it for this. I'll just, it's just going to be a lot more easier to, it's going to be easier just to display it like this. But, yeah, overall, my thoughts on the Atlas Summoner, it's definitely a lot more fun than I was expecting. I think the fact that this toy does read the other keys, I think is actually really cool. I was actually kind of worried that it only was going to be like genericized. Like the Atlas, or the Saint Sword? The Atlas Saint Sword? That one can only read like 2 subsection of keys. This one does too, but it'll at least actually acknowledge the other keys and like play their associated sounds. The only keys that are like kind of replaced in terms of their sounds are the transformation keys, but all the other sounds for their attacks, those are intact from their respective belts. So if you don't want to have three entire separate belts and want a belt that has all those sounds in one device, I do recommend this. But if you do want the individual transformations for these 4 keys, then go ahead and pick up the Super Lava Belt and the Super Tetra Belt. Also the thing too with this is that I think the only neat thing about one of the other neat things about this, I don't want to say only, is that because thankfully this thing has gotten more releases, that does give obviously consumers that can't fork over the money for the Tornado Key set, and actually gives people the ability to own a Cliff Key. It is dumb that they still have. There's only 2 Cliff Keys that are like really available, because again the Atlas Saint Sword also got released back in 2020. So it's easy to get that, and technically the same with this. But again, with Tornado, you're going to have a better chance of finding his keys. Cliff, on the other hand, most people are going to be stuck with the Atlas variants, because those are half of his keys have only been released as Atlas variants and such. So, yeah, that's why I ultimately just decided to not ultimately decided, like, I was going to get this thing no matter what, but it was just more so like, well, like, you can be minimalistic and just only get this set and like try to find the others loose and such. But which brings me to my next point. I kind of wish, it's kind of unfortunate, I think I can show it in the next review, but like these keys, I don't know, it's either they're just mine or they like specifically tooled it, but these keys are like super loose, which is good for this toy, but not for other toys, because it causes them to get like thrown and such. Like, luckily here, they're in there solidly, but if I were to use this in the Tetra Summoner, it doesn't even stick in, which I think is just more so a thing with the Tetra Summoner than the actual key. Yeah, so the grip is really loose for these keys, or I think they specifically tooled the springs for these keys to be like super loose, because I think the Tornado Key is the only one that I really experienced. Or no, yeah, they're all super loose. like because like, that one even sprung out. Because like I noticed it with the lava key because it would tend to spring out. Because when I was trying to use it, it wouldn't like it does that. Because sometimes it wouldn't be deep enough to activate the switch. So like I'll have to like push it down again to like activate it and such. So I guess be warned about that, but also just be warned about you using other keys in this toy because I have proof. It wears out the back sticker for some of the keys due to how tight their springs are for it. So just be warned about that. But other than that, I got this off of Taobao via Superbuy. This is the cheapest, surprisingly, for how much it does. This one's the cheapest lava summoner that you can get in such way, like, as when I got it for $24. Obviously, I'm not counting for shipping because that's really up to you what shipping option you want to go for it, or you want to go for. But like $24 for a full robust like belt that can actually read up to 18 keys is pretty neat and such. So I do recommend it. And again, you get a bonus, or if you do get the Atlas Saint Sword, there is another sound when you combine those keys together. I'm still on the fence if that might be the only weapon I'll pick up. But at the same time, it's just like, I don't know. I really want to be conservative with like what of the. Again, it's also just because it's like, there's like other factors of like, whoa, like then I have to like not deal with anything serious, but it's just like, it's just kind of like what the way Superbuy works in terms of shipping is just kind of like it's not bad, but it's kind of a hassle. So it's just kind of like it's more so like whether it's worth the importing like stuff like that and such. So I'm satisfied with just owning the Atlas Summoner, but if you want more out of Atlas, then you can go pick up the Atlas Saint Sword and such. But other than that, that'll have to do with this review. This is Ryder, and I'll leave you people. Bye.